The first time she saw him, he didn't say a word. He just stood there still, calm, watching everything. While the rest of the room buzzed with tension and whispered betrayal, his eyes didn't move. Not when voices rose. Not when accusations flew. Not even when she felt her entire world collapsing around her. And when someone finally stepped too close, he spoke just 2 words. "Try me." That was the moment everything changed. Before we dive into this powerful story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment if you believe kindness can show up in the most unexpected places. Welcome to Where Stories Remind Us What Really Matters. Emma Lawson had built her company from the ground up. At just 38, she was the CEO of a fast-growing tech firm in Seattle. People called her brilliant, focused, unstoppable. But what most didn't know was how hard she had worked to get there, and how much she had sacrificed. Late nights, missed holidays, a marriage that quietly faded away. Her world was her company. So when her own family, her investors, her board members started turning against her, it didn't just feel like business. It felt personal. "They want you out," her assistant whispered one evening, her voice shaking. "There's a vote tomorrow." Emma stared at the skyline through her office window, her reflection faint against the glass. "My own brother is on that board," she said quietly. And that's when they brought him in. Daniel Hayes. Former Navy SEAL. Security specialist. Widowed father of a 9-year-old daughter. He wasn't flashy. Didn't wear expensive suits. Didn't try to impress anyone. But when he walked into the building, something shifted. He wasn't there to negotiate. He was there to protect. Daniel's life had already been broken once. Years ago, he had lost his wife in a car accident. Just like that, gone. One moment she was laughing in the kitchen, the next, everything was silence. After leaving the military, he had one mission left. Raise his daughter, Lily. She was the reason he got up every morning. The reason he stayed steady. The reason he never let himself fall apart. And now, this job, it wasn't just another contract. Because the moment he saw Emma, he recognized something. Not her power. Her loneliness. The board meeting was set for 9 a.m. Emma walked in knowing she was walking into a trap. Every face at that table was familiar. People she had trusted. People she had built this company with. And now, they were avoiding her eyes. Her brother, Mark, cleared his throat. "Emma, we believe it's time for new leadership." She felt the words hit like a punch. "You mean you want control?" she said calmly. Mark didn't deny it. "That's how this works." And then one of the board members stood up, moving closer, his tone aggressive. "You've made mistakes, Emma. Big ones." That's when Daniel stepped forward. Just one step. But it was enough. The man stopped. Daniel didn't raise his voice. Didn't threaten. He just looked at him and said quietly, "Try me." Silence filled the room. Not fear. Respect. Because something about Daniel made it clear he wasn't bluffing. That day, the vote didn't happen. Too much tension. Too much uncertainty. But Emma knew it wasn't over. "They'll come back," she told Daniel later. He nodded. "Then we'll be ready." She studied him for a moment. "You don't talk much, do you?" A faint smile touched his face. "I talk when it matters." For the first time in weeks, Emma felt a small sense of relief. Days turned into weeks. Daniel became a quiet presence in her life. Always nearby. Always watching. But something else happened too. Lily. One afternoon, Emma saw her sitting in the lobby, doing homework while waiting for her dad. "Hi," Emma said gently. "You must be Lily." The little girl looked up and smiled. You're the boss. Emma laughed softly. Something like that. They started talking. About school. About books. About life. And for a moment, Emma wasn't a CEO. She was just a person. One evening, Emma stayed late. The building was nearly empty. That's when she heard voices. Her brother. And two others. We do this now, Mark was saying. She won't see it coming. Emma froze. They weren't just planning a vote. They were planning to force her out. Immediately. Legally, and aggressively. Before she could move, a shadow stepped beside her. Daniel. I heard it too, he said quietly. What do we do? She whispered. He looked at her not as a client. As a person. We don't fight them like they expect. The next morning, Emma walked into the boardroom again. But this time, she wasn't alone. Daniel stood behind her. Not just as security. As strength. Mark smirked. Ready to step down. Emma took a breath. No. She slid a folder across the table. I know what you've been doing. The room shifted. Confusion. Then panic. You've been moving company funds. Quietly. Hoping I wouldn't notice. Mark's face hardened. That's a lie. Daniel stepped forward slightly. Not threatening. Just present. Check the records, Emma said. Everything's there. Silence. Then one of the board members opened the file. His face went pale. This is real, he muttered. The room turned on Mark. And just like that, the power shifted. After the meeting, Emma sat in her office, hands shaking. It's over, she said softly. Daniel nodded. You handled it? She looked at him, her eyes filled with something deeper than relief. Why did you help me like that? He paused. Then he answered honestly. Because I know what it's like, when the people who should have your back, don't. Emma felt her chest tighten. For the first time, someone understood. Weeks later, things were different. The company was stable again. The board had changed. And Emma had changed too. She started leaving work earlier. Started smiling more. Started living. One afternoon, she visited the park where Daniel and Lily were. Lily ran up to her. You came. Emma laughed. I said I would. Daniel watched from a distance. Not as a guard. As a father. As a man who had finally found peace in small moments. Emma sat beside him. You didn't just protect me, she said quietly. You reminded me who I was. He looked at her. You did that yourself. She smiled. Still, thank you. Kindness doesn't always look like soft words or big gestures. Sometimes, it looks like standing between someone and the storm. Sometimes, it's quiet strength. Loyalty. Understanding. Daniel didn't save Emma with force. He saved her with presence. With respect. With the kind of kindness that doesn't ask for anything in return. And Emma? She learned that even at the top, you don't have to stand alone. So if you're watching this today, remember this. You never know who's fighting a silent battle. You never know who just needs someone to stand beside them. Be that person. Be the one who says, try me. Not with anger. But with courage. Because kindness, real kindness, can change everything.